ladies and gentlemen. This is the Cuyahoga County Council meeting of Tuesday, February the 28th, 2012. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Calling the roll, Mr. Schron.
Here.
Ms. Conwell.
Here.
Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Simon. Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Brady. Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
Here.
Ms. Conley. There is a quorum.
Thank you. All rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For our moment of silence this evening, we'd like to dedicate this meeting for the victims and families of all those who were involved in the Chardon High School shooting. May they find peace and comfort during this difficult time, piecing together this senseless crime. May we unite as a community and remember those who have fallen and come together to ensure prevention of another tragic event and education of our youth. The next item on our agenda is public comment related to the agenda. Has anyone signed in for public comment?
Madam President, Mr. Charles C. would like to address council related to motion 2012-0001 and 2012-0005.
Come forward, Mr. C.
Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the council. Regarding the first issue.
Would you like to, you can identify yourself formally for the record.
Yes,
please.
ma'am. I'm sorry. My name is Charles C. The last name is spelled S, as in Sam, double E. I'm here appearing in two capacities. One as the executive director of the Community Reentry Program, which I'll direct my second comments toward. And I'm also here as a member of the Facility Governing Board for the Community-Based Corrections Facility, which I'll direct my first comments toward. You have on the agenda the appointment of Mr. Alfonso Sanchez to continue as a member of the board for the Community-Based Corrections Facility. I serve on that board. I've had the pleasure of working with Mr. Sanchez for the last couple of years. His leadership has been exemplary. He has the support of his colleagues. His performance is without question. I'm here to vigorously encourage the council to favorably consider and support the appointment of Mr. Al Sanchez to the Facilities Governing Board for another term. Thank you very much.
And did you have another topic?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
Second
proceed.
topic had to do with the issue related to what is commonly become known as the ban the box issue. And again, good afternoon, Madam President and members of the council. My name is Charles C. I'm the Executive Director of the Community Reentry Program, an organization here in Cuyahoga County that has been serving returning citizens for more than 35 years. Thank you for the privilege of appearing before you in support of the proposed ban the box legislation. As I am sure you are aware, Cuyahoga County has some 5,000 individuals returning from state prisons each year, along with a good number of individuals returning from federal institutions. Gainful employment is essential to the reentry process. Currently, many formerly incarcerated persons are denied consideration for jobs that they have the qualifications to perform. They are denied simply because they bear the burden of a felony conviction. Many that are denied employment have convictions which have no direct or substantial relationship to the job that they are applying for. They are denied solely because they have a felony conviction. Banning the box will give equal footing to returning citizens and allow them to be considered on the merits of their application and on their work experience. An eventual background check will give employers the information they need to make rational decisions about the appropriateness of any particular applicant for any particular job. I applaud the council for considering legislation that will make a difference in the employment lives of so many returning citizens, and I vigorously encourage the passage of this progressive legislation. And while I understand that progress is usually made one step at a time, I hope that eventually the council will invite other agencies and corporations to consider banning the box as well that seek to do business with the county. Thank you so much for this opportunity to appear.
Thank you, Mr. C.
You're welcome.
Is anyone else signed in for public comment?
No, Madam President.
All right, item 6 on the agenda are the approval of the minutes of the meeting of February the 14th, 2012 have been circulated. I assume everyone has had an opportunity to read those. If so, is there a motion to approve the minutes as circulated?
Move to approve.
By Mr. Jones and seconded by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The minutes are adopted. The message from the county executive also point out that there are 157 contracts approved by the executive, and those are attached to the agenda for this evening for public inspection. Mr. Fitzgerald.
I actually don't have comments this evening. I don't want to devastate you, but I do not.
Oh, okay. I would like to remind everyone that the Harvest for Hunger campaign has started. I had an opportunity to represent the county in the absence of Mr. Fitzgerald last week at Tower City. It was a kickoff for the program. This program goes through April the 19th, and I want to remind everyone to participate, and this has the full support of, I believe, everyone on the council. All right, item 8, committee reports and consideration of motions of council for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Is there a motion, Ms. Simon, to suspend the rules of 3 readings?
Yes. Madam President, I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Gallagher to suspend the rules. Is there any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, the ayes have it. Item 0001.
Motion number 2012-0001, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Alfonso P. Sanchez to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community-Based Correctional Facility Governing Board and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Okay, this, you want to move?
So moved. I would like to move that M2012001 be moved to the full council.
Moved by Ms. Conwell. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Gallagher. Ms. Conwell, did you want to speak on this? Or it came from your committee.
Yes, this is a 3-year term and a 12-member board, and Mr. Sanchez is willing to serve on this committee. And I would like to, our committee would like to offer him to be confirmed this evening.
Discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Congratulations. Is Mr. Sanchez here? Congratulations.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, I guess one technicality, it would be the motion to adopt approving Mr. Sanchez's confirmation.
Okay, so is that your motion to adopt? Yes. Okay, and it's in approval of the second? Yes. All right, so let's take a vote again. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the motion is adopted. Item 0005.
Motion number 2012-0005, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Jerry G. Brown to serve on the County Audit Committee and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Schrein and seconded by Mr. Gallagher. Is there any discussion on this? This will complete the internal audit committee, so we'll have a full complement. This committee has been working, and we're in the process of hiring an internal auditor. We're just about there, but we already have Mr. Parks working as a fill-in, and we're working on procedures. So this committee has not been dormant. We've been working quite diligently with Mr. Steen. Any discussion on that matter? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Item 0006.
Motion number 2012-0006, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of Victor A. Ruiz to serve on the Cuyahoga Community College Board of Trustees and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. And 0007.
Motion number 2012-0007, a motion confirming the county executive's appointment of the Honorable Timothy DeGeeter to serve on the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District Board of Trustees and declaring the necessity that this motion become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Germana,
Second.
by Ms. Conwell. Any discussion on this? All right, yes, Mr. Germana.
Of course, Timothy DeGeeter is the mayor of Parma, and I'd be privileged to add my name as a sponsor.
All right, yeah, Mr. Germana's name. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 9, consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption, item 0011.
Resolution number 2012-0011, a resolution proclaiming the month of May of each year as Multiple Chemical Sensitivity Awareness Month in Cuyahoga County and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Rogers. Mr. Miller, did you want to have any discussions on this?
Madam President and my colleagues, I would appreciate your support for this resolution. Multiple chemical sensitivity can be a debilitating illness, and it's very important that the citizens of Cuyahoga County become more informed about it and learn more about what we can do to either prevent or mitigate its effects. And I would like to thank Councilwoman Simon and Councilwoman Conwell for co-sponsoring this resolution with me, and thank Chairman Julian Rogers for helping move this legislation through committee. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it.
Chair, can you add my name as a sponsor, co-sponsor?
Rogers, and you'd like to add my name also? All right, item 10, consideration of an ordinance of council for first reading and referral to committee, item 0005.
Ordinance number 2012-0005, an ordinance prohibiting inquiries about or consideration of criminal convictions of applicants for Cuyahoga County employment positions until the applicant has been offered conditional employment, establishing the criterion under which criminal records may be considered, and establishing exceptions.
I'd like to move this. This was my legislation.
Second.
Just be referred to committee.
That's why we were waiting on you.
This is going to be referred to committee. This is an ordinance similar to what the city of Cleveland has, and Mr. C. Actually pretty much told the story of what it's about, so we don't need to repeat ourselves. But yes, it'll be referred to the Human Resource Committee under the Mr. Conwell.
Madam President?
Yes.
I had agreed to co-sponsor this, but my name didn't get on.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
if
you
you could add my name, please. Thank you.
And Madam Chair, if you could add my name also.
Jones
Madam Chair, you can add my name as well.
and Mr. Brady
Ms. Conwell.
and Ms. Conwell. Okay. Okay. Item 11, consideration of a resolution for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules, Rule 9D and 12A. Ms. Simon?
We suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, all those in favor of suspending the rules indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Our rules are suspended. Item 0035.
Madam Chair, I'm not sure if you wanted to rescind that or reconsider that particular action, as this is the item that you were recommending to refer to committee.
Yeah, I just thought that as we were referring, but I think we can still refer it to committee. So you want to go ahead and read it, and then we'll still refer it to committee.
Ma'am. Resolution number 2012-0035, a resolution amending the 2012-2013 biennial operating budget for 2012 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund and other funding sources, for appropriation transfers between budget accounts, and for cash transfers between budgetary funds in order to meet the budgetary needs of various county departments, offices, and agencies, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Mr.
Madam
Miller, do you want to be heard on that?
Yes, Madam President and my colleagues, this is the biweekly financial resolution, and it contains a very important item, which is a $20 million appropriation for the first part of the funding for the $100 million economic development plan. And we need to learn more about the exact funding mechanism, about how this would be done, and Director Steen has indicated that it's not real-time sensitive, and that we can take the time to learn more about it in committee. So I would recommend that even though we suspended the rules and could vote on this at this point, that instead that we don't vote on it today and refer it to committee at the president's discretion.
All right, the chair will hereby refer this to the Finance Committee. Yes, Mr. Germano.
I'm just wondering if we need to table everything. I'm wondering if we could just take that part out so that the rest of the items can be.
Yeah, Mr. Miller and I had discussed that. Do you want to go ahead, Mr. Miller?
Madam President, we have in the past once or twice, what we did was that we amended the legislation to remove the item that we wanted to hold and pass the rest of it, and then the administration put that item into the next one 2 weeks hence. And in the meantime, even though we didn't have legislation, we heard that item in committee, which is a somewhat awkward way to handle things. And since I did not hear any indication that any of the other items were time sensitive, that's why I didn't do that, but it is an option.
I'm just inclined to send the whole matter, so we'll just keep it all in one piece of legislation. So it goes to the Finance Committee. Item 12, consideration of resolution for first reading and referral to committee. I'll get it straight this time. Item 0036.
Resolution number 2012-0036, a resolution authorizing an economic development large-scale attraction loan in the amount not to exceed $3 million to Philips Medical Systems Cleveland, Incorporated, for renovation of property located at 595 Minor Road, Highland Heights, authorizing the county executive and/or director of development to execute all documents consistent with said loan and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to the Economic Development Committee, but do you have any idea when this will be heard, Mr. Schreiner?
Friday?
Um,
Friday at 10 o'clock, I think is what's on schedule.
Is everyone available for that time?
I think we had a quorum. Yeah, we have.
So it'll be Friday at 10 o'clock. All right. 0037.
Resolution number 2012-0037, a resolution authorizing an economic development large-scale attraction loan in the amount not to exceed $3 million to 800 Superior for renovation of property located at 800 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, authorizing the county executive and/or director of development to execute all documents consistent with said loan and this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Go to the Economic Development Committee. 0038.
Resolution number 2012-0038, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County in the amount not to exceed $1,780,395 for the Adult Probation Substance Abuse Residential Treatment Program for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2014, authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
This matter will go to Justice Affairs.
Resolution number 2012-0039, a resolution authorizing contracts with various providers for various services in connection with the fiscal year 2011 Second Chance Act Adult Offender Reentry Program for the period October 1, 2011 through September 30, 2012, authorizing the county executive to execute the contracts and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the services and the providers and in the amounts not to exceed as printed on the agenda items D, 1, and 2.
Let's go to Health and Human Services.
Resolution number 2012-0040, a resolution authorizing a contract with Starting Point in the amount not to exceed $1,832,782 for administration of the Special Needs Child Care Program for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012. Authorizing the county executive to execute the contract and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Let's go to Health and Human Services. Item 13, committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of the rule, Rule 9D. Ms. Simon?
Madam President, I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
All right, moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Gallagher to suspend the three reading rule. There's any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 0008.
Resolution number 2012-0008, a resolution proclaiming the month of March 2012 as Save Our Homes Month in Cuyahoga County, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Was there someone here to speak on this? Or Judge First and...
Good afternoon, Madam President, members of council, and County Executive Fitzgerald. Thank you for sponsoring this legislation. On behalf of the court, I stand here today in place of Eileen T. Gallagher, who is the chair of our foreclosure committee, but I have at my side also Andrea Canast, who is in charge of the foreclosure mediation program. A few years ago, our court, in response to the foreclosure crisis in Cuyahoga County, under the leadership of Judge Gallagher, and with the help of Andrea Canast and Rebecca Wetzel from our ADR department, fashioned a program to respond appropriately. And they are now taking this program on the road during the Save Our Homes month, which is in March. And I will turn the mic over to Andrea, and she will tell you what measures are being taken during this month in their outreach efforts. There you go.
Thank you. And I just wanted to echo Judge First's comments and say thank you very much for supporting March as Save Our Homes Month. We do have several outreach events planned, and we're doing some town hall style meetings to encompass several communities all at one time. So we'll be out on March 22nd. We'll be in Parma. And that will include Parma Heights, and Seven Hills. We're going to be in Shaker Heights. We're also going to be out in Solon, and then we'll also be in Garfield Heights on March the 31st at the Garfield Heights Civic Center to encompass Garfield Heights, Bedford Heights, and Mayfield Heights. So, really our goal is to spread the word about the mediation program, about other resources available to property owners who may be facing foreclosure, and sort of most importantly right now, to have property owners stay in their homes. Don't abandon those properties if they feel that all hope is lost, or if they've maybe been told that they need to leave their home. Absolutely stay in their home until they are able to talk to somebody and see what can be done to help them. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to also add that this program has been very nicely represented by Judge Gallagher and Andrea, and it is recognized nationally and statewide as well as locally. Thank you for your support.
Well, I have to give you, I've got a little cheat sheet here. I have actually some more information. I guess there was over 12,000 cases referred. There were 6,600 cases ended up in mediation. There was 4,100 homes saved. So congratulate you. That really has an impact on our community. And the website is www.cuyahogacounty.us/saveourhome. And can you go there and get all the dates for the various meetings?
No, but that's an excellent idea. But they certainly can get contact information for our office. Also, the request form for mediation is there, so there's some good information on the website.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. All right, any other comments or discussions on this? Mr. Miller?
Motion, move to adopt.
Second.
Okay, it's moved by Mr. Miller and seconded by Mr. Schron. Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. March is now Save Our Home Month in Cuyahoga County. All right, item 0021.
Resolution number 2012-0021, a resolution supporting submission of applications on behalf of Cuyahoga County for first-round funding under the Local Government Innovation Fund available through the State of Ohio Department of Development, authorizing the county executive and department directors to take all steps necessary in furtherance of this goal, including entering into partnership initiatives, memoranda of understanding with any other potential partners, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
Move to adopt. Second.
Moved by Mr. Schron and seconded by Mr. Rogers. We had this in committee yesterday. Mr. Schron, you want to be heard?
Yes. What this is a supportive resolution that says that we're going to go out and make applications under this local government innovation fund. And we have a number of them pending right now. I think that they're due in by the end of the week. And so as a result, we're hoping for all kinds of good selections of all of our candidates as far as the proposals, one of which I think is a merger discussion as far as going out in my area. So looking forward to successful selection on every one of these.
Our joint areas.
Our joint, that's right. Our joint area, that's true. Yes. So I would ask my colleagues to support this as an initiative. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 0022.
Resolution number 2012-0022, a resolution approving right-of-way plans as set forth in the right-of-way legend sheet for permanent parcel number 264-21020, project parcel number 15, located at 7931 Stearns Road, for the grade separation of Stearns Road at the Norfolk Southern Railroad in Olmsted Township, authorizing the county executive through the Department of Public Works to acquire said project parcel as necessary right-of-way, finding that special assessments will neither be levied nor collected to pay for any part of the county's costs of said improvement, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective. Madam Chair, Councilman Gallagher has requested to put him as an additional sponsor for this item.
Okay, Mr. Gallagher, do you want to move this?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Gallagher and seconded by Mr. Jones. Did you want to be heard on this, Mr. Gallagher?
No, ma'am, I think it's self-explanatory.
Okay.
I will speak to this. This resolution is being brought forward because the owner of the property is battling health issues. So this resolution authorizes the executive and the Department of Public Works really to begin negotiating with this property owner. The remainder of the plan for the right-of-way acquisition will take place within the year, but we want to move quickly on this portion, and I ask my colleagues to support this resolution.
Any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 0026.
Resolution number 2012-0026, a resolution making an award on requisition number 21908 to the CA Agresta Construction Company in the amount of $1,314,468.45 for repair and resurfacing of Noble Road from Euclid Avenue to the East Cleveland South Corporation line in the city of East Cleveland, authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution, and authorizing the county engineer on behalf of the county executive to make an application for allocation from county motor vehicle $7.50 license tax funds in said amount to fund said contract.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Rogers. Any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Item 0027.
Resolution number 2012-0027, a resolution establishing a list of certified providers for occupational skills training services for the individual training account system for the period November 1, 2011 through June 30, 2014, authorizing the county executive to enter into agreements with said providers for said training services and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the providers as printed on the agenda, items E1 through 4.
Move to adopt.
All right, moved by Mr. Schron, seconded by Ms. Conwell. We had this in committee yesterday. This provides additional places where people can go for training out of workforce development. Anybody else want to say anything else? Okay.
My name added.
Add Ms. Conwell's name. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the resolution is adopted. Item 0028.
Resolution number 2012-0028, a resolution making an award on requisition number 21601 to Great Lakes Petroleum Company in the amount not to exceed $554,000 for middle distillates for various county facilities for the Department of Public Works for the period May 1, 2012 through April 30, 2013, and authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution.
Second.
All right, moved by Ms. Simon and seconded by Mr. Jones. All right, any discussion on this? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. 0029.
Resolution number 2012-0029, a resolution making an award on requisition number 21602 to Great Lakes Petroleum Company in the amount not to exceed $648,000 for gasoline for various county facilities for the Department of Public Works for the period May 1, 2012 through April 30, 2013, and authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and all other documents consistent with said award and this resolution.
Move to adopt.
Moved by Mr. Jones and seconded by Ms. Conwell. We better lock in these prices real quick before it goes up any higher. Any other discussion on this?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Actually, thank you. This one and the previous one, you touched on an interesting subject. These are fixed-rate contracts. However, I'm sure the price per gallon or per measurable unit is fixed as well. I just am curious with the price of fuel rising, what we might expect to come back to us for additional funding.
Is that Bonnie, is that you?
Thank you. Bonnie T1 Public Works. To the chairman and to Councilman Greenspan. This was bid out at a rate over and above the standard weekly rate. For the fuel costs, there's a national average that's presented, and this cost is based on that rate. So as fuel prices go up, we will be paying more for the cost of fuel. It's the bid part of it is the over and above that the standard rate.
So, Madam President, so the amount that we're paying obviously is not to exceed a dollar amount, but the unit price in there is going to fluctuate, correct?
That's correct.
So how long do you anticipate these contracts to last based on, I know not to look into the future, but too much, but if gas goes up to $4 or $5 a gallon, when do you think you might be coming back to us asking for more money, that this would have sufficed if the rate was more consistent?
Our estimate was based on previous year's consumptions with an average cost per gallon. We increased that a little bit, so we hope, provided the cost doesn't go up too much, we're pretty close to that rate. It's hard to say if you don't really know what the price is going to be, but we did take into some consideration an increase in the gasoline or in the fuel prices, and then hopefully we're also reducing the use of our fuel too. So the amount of fuel that we're using being more efficient, that, that will help us also.
So this, Madam President, so this is expected to last through 20, what was the rate, if you know off the top? I'm just trying to gauge as we move into these tougher times, how we might impact us.
I'm sorry to the chair, to the councilman, I don't know that at this time, but I can get that information to you.
All right, thank you.
Questions of Ms. T.Y.? I know what you're going to say, Ms. Simon. So if we had electric vehicles, we wouldn't be doing this.
Be introducing our fleet ordinance shortly.
We'll just burn more coal.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. 0030.
Resolution number 2012-0030, a resolution making an award on requisition number 21586 to Jack Doney Supplies Ohio Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $696,211.55 for Vector 21 Series Plus combination sewer cleaning equipment for use by Department of Public Works, Division of County Engineer, and authorizing the county executive to execute a contract and all other documents consistent with said award in this resolution.
Moved by Mr. Rogers and seconded by Ms. Simon. Any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0031.
Resolution number 2012-0031, a resolution authorizing amendments to memoranda of understanding with various providers for the Cuyahoga Tapestry System of Care Provider Services Network for various time periods ending December 31, 2011, to extend the time period to December 31, 2012, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $500,000, authorizing the county executive to execute the amendments and all other documents consistent with this resolution, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective for the time periods and with the providers as listed on the agenda items I, 1, and 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on these items?
This is just, Madam Chair, this is an annual allocation. It's sort of a menu that the Tapestry program, the wraparound program for challenged children, can draw down on based on approximately what was spent last year.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 0032.
Yes.
Resolution number 2012-0032, a resolution authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office in the amount not to exceed $2,074,053 for legal services for the Division of Children and Family Services for the period January 1, 2012 through December 31, 2012, and authorizing the county executive to execute the agreement and all other documents consistent with this resolution.
Move approval.
Second.
By Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on this one?
This is simply for the purpose of the county being able to get a reimbursement from the federal government.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Item 0033.
Resolution number 2012-0033, a resolution making awards on requisition number 21780 to various providers for community wraparound care coordination and family and youth advocacy services for the period April 1, 2012 through June 30, 2013, and authorizing the county executive to execute contracts and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution for the providers and in the amounts as printed on the agenda, items K1 through 8.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Jones. Any discussion? This is similar to the other item we had, Mr.
This
Brady.
is just related to 00031, just sort of a companion piece to it.
All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the ayes have it. Item 0034.
Resolution number 2012-0034, a resolution making awards on requisition number 21241 to various providers, each in the amount not to exceed $640,928 for the family-to-family neighborhood system of care for the period April 1, 2012 through March 31, 2014, and authorizing the county executive to execute contracts and all other documents consistent with said awards and this resolution for the providers as printed on the agenda, items L1 through 14.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Miller. Any discussion on that?
I'd like to have my name added.
Add Ms. Conwell's name, please.
Madam President.
Add Mr. Miller.
Mine as well.
Anna, Mr. Jones. Or anyone else? All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. Item 14, consideration of an ordinance for first reading and referral to committee, item 0006.
Ordinance number 2012-0006, an ordinance approving revised Cuyahoga County Procurement Card Program policies and procedures, effective February 1, 2012, and declaring the necessity that this ordinance become immediately effective.
And this matter would be referred to Public Works. All right, item 15, miscellaneous committee reports. Do we have any miscellaneous committee reports?
Madam
Start
President.
on this side and we'll go around. Mr. Miller?
Madam President, the next meeting of Finance and Budgeting Committee will be at our regular meeting time, which is this coming Monday, March the 5th at 1 p.m., and we will do additional work on the reserves policy. We will consider the biweekly financial legislation that got referred today, and we will also see if there are any additional questions about the year-end financial report that we received at the last meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Ms. Conwell?
Yes, we will have Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee this Thursday, which is not its scheduled time. So at 10 o'clock this Thursday, March 1st, and the March 8th committee has been canceled.
Ms. Simon?
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to have Justice Affairs either this Friday or the following, but it would time change later in the afternoon, so I can just set that out there for Mr. Jones and the President to see which day would work and if it's possible to meet later on either day. So,
Yeah, this Friday, I think we're scheduled to go to the Wallstein Center for John Glenn. So this Friday afternoon will not work.
Friday then, in the afternoon. Okay,
Although that's the eve of St. Patrick's Day, so I don't know if
fine.
All right, any other miscellaneous business?
Public Works will, Madam Chair.
Jones?
Public Works will meet this Thursday at 11 a.m.
All right, any other miscellaneous business? Is there any public comment unrelated to the agenda? Is anyone signed in?
Madam Chair, no one has signed in.
All right, the next item on the agenda is an executive session. All meetings of the Cuyahoga County Council are open to the public under the Open Records Meeting Law. Under the law, council may go into executive session during a meeting for specifically authorized purposes. During executive session, council confers outside of the hearing of the public. Council may not make any decisions about any matters in executive session. All decisions are made in public. This evening, council will go into executive session to discuss pending litigation and a collective bargaining matter. During this time, our live stream will be down, and we will ask all those who are not specifically needed for the executive session to leave the council chamber. Anyone may re-enter the meeting once the executive session has been ended. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing pending litigation and collective bargaining matters? It's moved by Mr. Brady and seconded by Mr. Gallagher. All right, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Madam President, before I'd like to have my name added to Resolution 31 and 33.
31 and 33?
And 33, yes.
Well, if we actually are getting ready to go into executive session, why don't you just talk to the gentleman right here in the blue shirt and he'll answer it for you, okay? We asked if there was any public comment, you didn't say anything, so this. Okay, well, this gentleman will help you. If you want to come back in, we can do that, okay? All right, you want to call the roll?
Okay. Moving to executive session, Mr. Schron?
Yes.
Ms. Conwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers? Ms. Simon? Mr. Greenspan? Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Brady? Mr. Germana?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher? Ms. Conley?
Yes. All right, the yeas have it. We will adjourn the meeting for executive session. Will members of the public and staff not asked to be here, please leave the room.